Zixithera had been born with hate coursing through his obsidian veins. At barely 3 cycles old, still a hatchling by draconic standards, he possessed enough raw power to incinerate entire star systems. His kind, the void dragons of the Andromeda, Spiral, were the galaxy's apex predators, and Zixithera was destined to be the greatest among them. His scales shimmered with contained starfire, his eyes burned like twin supernovas, and his roar could shatter the hulls of battleships from 1,000 kilometers away. He had been taught from birth that the universe existed for one purpose: to feed the endless hunger of dragons. Every species, every world, every flickering light in the cosmic dark was either prey or competition to be eliminated. The Galactic Council trembled at the mere mention of his lineage, and entire fleets had been dispatched and subsequently vaporized in attempts to contain his elder siblings. Zixithera reveled in this fear, until the day he crash-landed on a small blue world called Earth. The impact crater stretched for miles across what the humans called Montana. Zixithera emerged from the smoking wreckage of his bioship, wounded and furious. His left wing hung at an awkward angle, and cosmic radiation burns mottled his usually pristine scales. For the first time in his young life, he was vulnerable. He expected the local species to flee in terror or mount some pathetic resistance. Instead, he found a small human child sitting on the crater's edge, swinging her legs and eating something from a colorful wrapper. "Are you okay?" the little girl asked, tilting her head. She couldn't have been more than 6 Earth years old, with tangled brown hair and grass stains on her clothes. That looked like it hurt. Zixithera stared at her, momentarily speechless. His universal translator struggled with her dialect, something called English, but her meaning was clear. She was concerned for him. "I am Zixithera the Destroyer, Bane of Worlds, Terror of the—" he began, his voice a rumbling bass that made the ground tremble. "That's a really long name," the girl interrupted, unwrapping another piece of candy. "I'm Emma. Want a gummy bear? They're cherry-flavored." She held out a small red confection, no bigger than her thumb. Zixithera examined it with senses that could analyze matter down to the subatomic level. Sugar, gelatin, artificial flavoring, completely harmless and utterly alien to his experience. "You offer me food?" he asked, bewildered. "You look sad," Emma said matter-of-factly. "Mom always says sharing helps when you're sad." Sad. The concept was foreign to him. Dragons felt rage, hunger, satisfaction from conquest, but sadness? He considered the word while Emma waited patiently, the gummy bear still extended in her small palm. Against every instinct screaming in his draconic mind, Zixithera lowered his massive head and delicately took the candy with the tip of his tongue. The explosion of sweetness was unlike anything he'd ever experienced, not the sulfurous energy of dying stars or the metallic tang of fear, but something warm and inexplicably comforting. "Good, right?" Emma beamed. "I have more in my backpack." Over the following weeks, as Zixithera's injuries healed, Emma became a daily visitor to his crater. She would arrive after what she called school, with a backpack full of human offerings: sandwiches, juice boxes, picture books, and always more gummy bears. She chattered endlessly about her day, her friends, her pet cat named Whiskers, and something called homework that she apparently despised. Zixithera found himself looking forward to these visits with an emotion he couldn't quite name. Emma showed no fear of his size or power. When he accidentally set a tree ablaze with an annoyed snort, she simply said, "Bless you," and helped him stomp out the flames. When he spoke of conquering galaxies and consuming worlds, she nodded seriously and suggested he might want to start smaller, maybe with cleaning up the crater. "Why do you not flee from me, small human?" he asked one afternoon as Emma braided wildflowers into the spines along his neck. "Do you not know what I am?" "You're my friend," she said simply. "Friends don't run away from each other." Friend. Another alien concept. Dragons had no friends, only prey, rivals, or temporarily useful allies. Yet as Emma's small hands worked gently around his fearsome spines, decorating him with Earth's simple flowers, Zixithera began to understand. The revelation came when Emma stopped visiting for 3 days. Zixthera waited at the crater's edge, his anxiety growing with each passing hour. On the 4th day, she appeared looking pale and tired, walking slowly with a strange wheeled contraption attached to a clear tube in her arm. "I was in the hospital," she explained when he asked. "I'm sick. Mom says I might not get better." The words hit Zixthera like a plasma cannon to the chest. This small creature who had shown him kindness, who had called him friend, was dying. His rage erupted skyward in a pillar of flame that could be seen from orbit, but Emma just patted his foreleg gently. "It's okay," she whispered. "I'm not scared. I got to meet a real dragon, didn't I? That's pretty special." In that moment, something fundamental shifted in Zixthera's understanding of the universe. For the first time, he used his cosmic powers not to destroy but to heal. Ancient draconic healing magic, passed down through eons but never used for anything but mending battle wounds, flowed through his claws and into the small human girl. Emma's color returned. Her strength flooded back. The strange illness that had been consuming her cellular structure simply ceased to exist. "Wow," she breathed, standing up and spinning in a circle. "I feel amazing. How did you do that?" "Dragons are not merely destroyers," Zixthera said, the words feeling strange on his tongue. "We can also create." From that day forward, Zixthera's hatred for the galaxy began to transform. Emma had shown him that not all creatures were prey or enemies. Some were worth protecting. Some deserved kindness. Some could love a monster and see beauty in destruction's child. When the Galactic Council's fleet finally arrived to deal with the dragon threat on Earth, they found Zixthera in a field of wildflowers, carefully painting Emma's fingernails with controlled bursts of his flame, while she read him a story about friendship from one of her picture books. The fleet commander's transmission crackled with confusion. "Target appears to be playing tea party with a human child?" "That's right," Zixthera rumbled back, not looking up from his delicate work. "And if anyone disturbs this tea party, they'll discover exactly why dragons are feared across the galaxy." But his voice held no malice, only the fierce protectiveness of someone who had learned that the greatest power in the universe wasn't the ability to destroy worlds, it was the ability to love them. Emma giggled as Zixthera carefully balanced a tiny plastic teacup on the tip of his massive claw. "You're getting better at this," she said. "Soon you'll be the best tea party dragon in the whole galaxy." Zixthera smiled, an expression that would have terrified star systems just months ago, and realized she was absolutely right. And for the first time in his existence, he was proud of something other than his capacity for destruction. He was proud to be Emma's friend.